Hi guys, welcome back to my videos, I guess. I realized I've been away for a bit. There will be a video coming out in which I explain a bit about that, but for this video I just wanted to show you how it was to forage some mushrooms in the last week of September, so I hope you enjoyed this and come forage with me. So I just found a beautiful specimen of beefsteak fungus. I'm not gonna take it because I took some the other day and it literally looks like you carrying organs, which is horrible, but it's very beautiful, it's huge, and look at the spores underneath. Like, this would be quite good actually, like this would feed you for a whole meal. And there's also some other specimens right here. As you can see, they really stain like this bloody liquid. Like, no wonder it looks like organs. But they are very beautiful, and I can see some in there as well. So although I came looking for chicken of the woods, I have just found this beauty. I just found what I was looking for, but I think I missed the right week. I feel like chicken of the woods might need a little bit more heat to grow, and it's suddenly become winter. So I found the specimen, but it is very old and it's all eaten. It definitely looks like it, so I'm gonna leave it be. So I just finished cooking the, not hen of the woods, of a black staining polyphore, if that's how you say it, but it is absolutely the best kind of mushrooms I've ever had. I don't know if it's how I prepared it. It's like soaked in butter and garlic and some soy sauce, but man, I don't know if this looks good to you, but it tastes amazing. I'm now in Oxley's Woods, and I think I just found a very hidden beefsteak fungus, which again I'm not gonna take, mostly because I'm not that much of a fan of the fact that it looks like organs in your bag, so I'll just keep looking. I'm mainly after pacinis, but I just keep finding these stones, so I'm gonna keep looking. Not an amanita, but I found some mushrooms growing on the side of this tree. They look fairly old, so I'm not gonna take them. But I guess it's a good sign if there are some mushrooms around. I found those ones. I think they're edible, but I'm gonna triple check because I'm paranoid. And I'm gonna keep looking for more edibles. This is Clitocybie odora, also known as aniseed toadstool. I had to triple check, aka check it 20 times, so do be careful with any blue mushrooms, or any mushroom at all in the woods. Always double check everything when you're home. ID it and make sure that the spore print is correct. But just so you know, these ones have a very strong scent of taste of aniseed, which is why it's called aniseed toadstool. They are very similar to the poisonous mushrooms, so I just want to leave that out there. However, as you can see here, I had it for lunch, just a tiny bit, just to kind of have a taste of the mushroom for the first time, because I'm quite curious. As long as they are edible, it was all fine. It's been a couple of days. I am alive. So it was interesting. Definitely something that I'd use in a risotto. A bit strong by itself, but it was very fun to capture it and eat it. Annoyingly, I'm looking for something that's probably not supposed to be picked right now, or picked at all, but I just have a fascination for fly agarics, because I found one last year for the first time when I weirdly first started getting into mushrooms, because at the time I was talking with my now boyfriend, and he's a big mushroom fan. And so at the time I showed him the fly agaric, and I was just so amazed that I had found it. But I never found one again. I think they are a bit rare just because they have to grow alongside trees, and I don't know, they're quite magical, aren't they? So I have not been able to find anything yet. I do think it's still early. Last year I found the fly agaric and some inky caps at the end of October. So I am going to continue searching, because the only way you're gonna find mushrooms is to do it more often than most people. At some point they come out. They also grow really quickly, so even if you don't find something in the spot on a certain day, it doesn't mean that you won't have any mushrooms. Sometimes you just take like 7 days to grow, and yeah, you really have to be attentive to it. Speaking of, there is a beefsteak fungus. They are really beautiful. Whoever says beefsteak is rare has not been going to the woods this week, because my god, I have found enough beefsteak to feed the country. It's just a shame that it's such a like weird textured mushroom. And oh, I found another. Yeah, there was something here. Look, it's been eaten with chocolate burner, maybe. It's very eaten. I wonder what they thought. But that is a good sign. There are some few mushrooms. You know, the beauty of hunting, well, foraging, hunter for parasols. The beauty of foraging mushrooms is that you're not always going to find a lot, and you're not always going to find edible ones. And I've certainly known that, because me and my boyfriend have been foraging since we met, which is like last December. So not ideal mushroom time until now. This is actually quite an exciting time. Like every time I find 1 or 2 mushrooms, even if they're just like new mushrooms that I've never seen, I'm so excited, because it's all stuff for the books, for me to catalog, get to know better. It's nice to have a hobby that's, one, it puts you in nature, which I find very therapeutic. It also teaches you to be very patient with yourself, with the world, on a more philosophical level. Because you're not always going to get what you want, and it doesn't have to be bad. It just means that you're getting something different, which I really appreciate. I think it's a lesson I need to learn, instead of creating all these expectations for myself. So if you don't forage yet, I think it's an incredible hobby for impatient people like myself. And you reap the rewards, which is sometimes you get cool mushrooms that you can cook, and they're incredible. It's a whole new world that is within our reach, but most of us are not that educated in it. Because when people think about mushrooms, they either think about magic mushrooms, or they think about button mushrooms or closed cup. There's like white ones that everyone gets, or maybe paccinis. That's another beefsteak. But there is a whole world of different mushrooms out there, and they're really quite incredible. Some of them are very, very tasty. I tried the item maitake, or black stain fungus, the other day. I say maitake because it was growing on wood, but black staining fungus was more what it looked like, and it didn't look like anything else, so it was one of those two, but both were edible, so I took a safe choice to have it. is very tough, so that's more in favor of the black staining fungus. Yeah, that was incredible. So I'm really glad I went out that day. I just found this mushroom. It looks very old. Oh, it's the same one that I found the other day, weirdly. It's like some sort of bleedy, I don't know. It's very, very old. Another thing you need to know about mushrooms is that just because the conditions are ideal, it doesn't mean that that specific type of mycelium is within the woods that you're passing through. So for instance, I'm trying to find porcinis because I know now is the time, but it doesn't mean that porcini's mycelium is here. So or that these are exactly the favorable conditions. So a tiny thing can impact whether or not it grows. You might find something fun. So keep looking. Don't ask me how I got in here. It was I'm gonna mess up all my clothes, but I saw this and I can resist getting closer, so it's very, very dry, but it was an oyster, which is incredible. I'm gonna leave it be, but I wanted to identify it and I did. So I'm pleased about. Sometimes it's not about getting the reward, like the mushroom to eat, but I find a lot of pleasure in just identifying which mushroom is going where. Also, look at this weird thing growing on a tree. It's quite cool. So mushrooms don't always grow on the ground or close to the roots of the trees or in dead woods. Sometimes they grow literally in the tree itself. So that's the case with most oysters I've found. So you really have to be looking everywhere, which is why it's such a fun thing. You might miss it. There might be an oyster just in front of you and you just might not see it because you're looking down. But if you're looking up, then you might be missing something that is just below you. So I find that all quite thrilling, or rather fun, entertaining in my childish way. Feels like you doing a catch me if you can with the mushrooms. They are really cool things. I love that there's a world beyond our feet, just spreading, giving trees nutrients or being parasites to them. It's also interesting. Found some more of these, which I've been finding a lot of. And there is some turkey tail, I suspect, growing in there. Looks like it. And in the midst of that, there is something here, which I don't know how to identify, so I'll just identify with an app, and if it looks exactly like that and there's no lookalikes, I might pick it. The other better app is my boyfriend. And now you see what I see. There's a beautiful beefsteak fungus. Beautiful. Probably the best one I've ever seen. Looks very luscious. I mean, if you're passing through these woods, which this is like the main path, I can't believe no one's picked this yet. I guess because it does give this like dripping blood-like thing, so not ideal to carry, but it's very young, very gorgeous. Only reason I'm not going to pick it is because, as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the taste, but I would urge you to try it. It might be a thing. I just didn't quite click with me. This has just made my day. I found possibly my take. A gorgeous, gorgeous specimen. Whatever this is, it might not be. It's very slimy, it might not be that. It looks like it. And it's very fresh, it's like very... as you could, like, it's weird and slimy. But it's beautiful. Like, I've never seen this like that. And there's also some other mushrooms here. I think these are old, yeah. I also see some growing here. God, this is a weird area for mushrooms. Like, look at what's growing here. Some beautiful things that's probably poisonous. Or maybe it's just mycelium growing. I don't know. They are quite beautiful though. You can see, also quite attaching themselves to the leaves. See, this is the thing. Every now and then I just get lucky and I find a single tree with all these fungi growing around it. I wonder if it's dying because of that. But I'm gonna research on this because it looks beautiful. It'll just be a shame if I can pick it, but it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Look at that. It's very beautiful. I think I may have found some turkey tail, which, if it is, I'll definitely make some brewed tea with it. This is gorgeous. Like, I just never cease to get amazed at how gorgeous mushrooms are. And I think this is definitely turkey tail. It looks like it. I feel like it. I love these. Here we go. I've been walking a bit further. There are some more of those poisonous yellow ones. And some more beefsteak again. I mean, if anyone likes beefsteak, do let me know. I'm not a fan, but there's tons of it. Tons. I found this gigantic log, so I'm going to probably meditate a bit. I've been wanting to, but I feel like everything's so busy all the time. And when you're just in the woods, you're by yourself, it's almost criminal not to, isn't it? Found this little guy, maybe a chocolate burner. It's very eaten, so I'm gonna leave it.